Broke, hook, and opening. I didn't cry when I found out. That's the part people never believe. They expect tears, screaming, messages sent in anger at 3 in the morning. But I just sat there, staring at my phone, feeling something much colder than pain. Because when betrayal comes quietly, it doesn't explode. It sinks in slowly, like water filling your lungs while everyone around you thinks you're breathing just fine. I had trusted him, not blindly, not foolishly. I trusted him because he gave me every reason to, or at least I thought he did. If you had seen us from the outside, you would have said we were solid, the kind of couple people secretly compare their own relationships to. No drama, no loud fights, just calm, stable, safe. That's what made it hurt more, because the truth didn't arrive with a warning. It arrived on a random evening, through a notification that was never meant for me. And in that moment, I realized something terrifying. The man I loved had already left me. He just forgot to tell me. Before everything broke, our life felt simple. Not perfect, but real. We met in the most boring way possible. No sparks, no dramatic moment, just two people sitting next to each other, talking about things that didn't matter, until suddenly they did. He wasn't loud, he wasn't flashy, he was calm, thoughtful, the kind of man who listened instead of performing. That's why I felt safe with him. He remembered small details, the way I took my tea, the songs I played when I couldn't sleep, the silence I needed when words felt heavy. When someone knows your quiet side, you believe they would never betray it, or maybe you want to believe that. Months passed, then years. We built routines, inside jokes, a future that felt agreed upon, even when it wasn't spoken. I trusted him with my vulnerabilities, my fears, my past disappointments, and he held them carefully. At least, that's what I thought. Because looking back now, the signs were there. Not loud signs, just absences. Moments when he smiled but wasn't really there. Texts answered too carefully. Silences that felt longer than usual. But when you love someone, you don't investigate. You explain things away. That was my mistake. The first crack wasn't a message, it was a change. He stopped arguing with me. That might sound like a good thing, but it wasn't. When someone suddenly agrees with everything, it usually means they've stopped caring enough to disagree. He was still kind, still present, but something had shifted. I would talk and he would nod, smile, but his eyes, they were somewhere else. Sometimes I'd catch him checking his phone quickly, then putting it away like nothing happened. I asked him once, gently, "Is everything okay?" He smiled and said, "Of course, why wouldn't it be?" And I believed him, because trusting someone doesn't feel like a decision, it feels automatic. That night, I almost asked again. Almost. But I didn't want to be the suspicious one, the insecure one, the person who ruins something good by asking too many questions. So I stayed quiet, and silence can be dangerous. The truth came when I wasn't looking for it. That's how it always comes. I was holding his phone, not snooping, just helping him with something simple. A notification popped up, a name I didn't recognize, and a message that didn't need context. I missed last night already. That was it. No explanation, no confusion, just 5 words that changed everything. My hands didn't shake, my heart didn't race. I felt empty, like my body had already processed the pain before my mind caught up. I didn't confront him right away. I don't know why. Maybe part of me wanted to be wrong. Maybe I wanted more proof. Or maybe I just wanted to understand how someone could live 2 lives so calmly, so calmly. So I waited, and what I found was worse than I imagined. I became an observer in my own relationship. I noticed patterns, how he smiled at his phone, how certain names made him turn his screen away, how he suddenly had reasons to leave early or come home late. And the worst part? He was still affectionate with me, still held my hand, still kissed my forehead. That hurt more than the cheating, because it meant he wasn't confused, he was comfortable. I finally looked deeper, not obsessively, just enough to confirm what my heart already knew. There was someone else, not a mistake, not a one-time lapse, a whole story running parallel to mine. I remember sitting alone that night realizing something heavy. I wasn't just betrayed, I was being replaced, quietly. Most people would confront, cry, demand answers. I didn't. Instead, I asked myself one question. If I expose him now, what do I really gain? An apology? A denial? A half-truth wrapped in regret? No. I didn't want noise. I wanted clarity. So I made a decision that surprised even me. I stayed. Not because I was weak, but because I wanted control. If he thought I knew nothing, then he would keep revealing everything. And he did. My revenge didn't start with anger. It started with patience. I stopped asking questions, stopped needing reassurance. I became calm, and calm people are dangerous when they've been betrayed. I listened more than I spoke, watched more than I reacted. I let him feel safe in his lie, because when people feel safe, they get careless. And he did. He grew bolder, less careful. He started underestimating me. That was his final mistake. I gathered everything, not to hurt him, but to protect myself. I planned my exit silently, financially, emotionally, and while he thought he was in control, I was already gone in my mind. I didn't scream, I didn't accuse, I simply told the truth in front of the right people at the right moment, and the room went silent, because betrayal looks very small when exposed calmly. He tried to speak, but there was nothing left to say. I walked away without chaos, without begging, without regret, and that broke him more than anger ever could, because I didn't need revenge that hurt, I needed justice that freed me. Here's the truth no one tells you. The strongest revenge isn't loud, it's living well without them. Because when someone betrays you quietly, the best response is to leave them behind just as quietly and never look back.